So for today, I will be discussing the importance of science communication. Mahalaga kasi na malaman muna natin yung basic of science communication before we go further to how to write scientific reports and also laboratory reports. So there are a lot of definitions with respect to science communication, but I will give you the definition from Burns and his colleagues in the journal titled Science Communication, a Contemporary Definition. This is actually the most cited science communication paper that I have scanned through. So according to Burns and his colleagues, or the group of Burns, science communication or SciComm may be defined as the use of appropriate skills, media, activities, and dialogue to produce one or more of the following personal responses to science. So meron siya ditong vowel analogy. For A, it should induce awareness, including familiarity to new aspects of science. So aside from to have an effective science communication, dapat makapag-raise tayo ng awareness about a certain specific topic about science na gusto nating i-put forward. And number two, there should be an enjoyment or other effective responses in appreciating science as entertainment or art. So kapag sinabing merong enjoyment, so ito yung parang nakikita natin sa mga sitcoms like Big Bang Theory. So they add comedic situational analogy para maipakita yung science concepts. Hindi lang siya basta thorough or technical discussion of science, but there should be enjoyment or effective response from the audience. And also it should spark interest as evidenced by voluntary involvement with science or its communication. So aside from awareness and enjoyment, it should also spark the interest of your audience with respect to the scientific concept that you are communicating. And also opinions. So sabi dyan, the forming, reforming, and confirming of science-related attitudes. Opinions are actually equally important to scientific communication because kapag merong opinion na binibigay ang ating audience or co-scientist, pwede natin yung i-translate or pwede natin i-translate yung science communication natin in a more effective manner. So science communication is a two-way process, hindi lang lagi siyang galing sa scientist, pwede rin galing sa audience kung meron silang nakitang pwedeng i-improve dun sa way ng pag-communicate ng science, pwede. So dapat this should be a two-way process. Hindi lang laging from scientist to the general public, pwede rin from the general public to the scientists or the science communicators. And lastly, there should be an understanding of science, its content, processes, and social factors. So sabi ng group ni Burns, dapat daw one or more of the following responses ang ma-induce natin sa ating audience kapag meron tayong ginagawang science communication. And this is the important thing. Science communication may involve science practitioners, mediators, and other members of the general public, either peer-to-peer or between groups. So ibig sabihin nito, hindi lang mga scientists ang pwedeng gumawa ng science communication. Pwede actually yung general public if they can laymanize and effectively communicate the science to the general public or to the masses. Pwede silang maging science communicators. In fact, in UPLB, meron course kaming tinatawag na development communication where there is a major for science communication. They are not necessarily scientists, but they major on communication to deliver science to the general public effectively. So again, yung notion na scientist lang yung involved sa science communication is not true. Even normal people can do science communication. For example, nakarinig kayo ng balita about vaccine. Like say for example, mRNA vaccine kasi bagong type of vaccine yon, and you communicated it to your friends, to your peers, even though hindi ka scientist pero nakuha mo yung general theme of that science communication na nakuha mo from the TV or from the newspaper, you are also doing science communication by doing that. So hindi siya constrained to the scientist. Meron tayong mga communication graduates and other general public or general people or masses na pwedeng gumawa ng science communication. So Meron pa akong isang nilagay dito na definition from Emily Dawson of a professor in King's College London. Sabi niya, science communication is involved in developing government science policies, understanding relationships between the public and scientists, and creating science stories in mass media, as well as exploring how people learn about and engage with science. It is about communicating science and building bridges between the people involved in scientific research and different groups of the public. In other words, science communication bridges the gap of the scientific people to the general public by using communication tools or different platforms in communication to further uh, to further diffuse the knowledge that came from the scientific community. So kapag sinasabi dito na yung science communication, ini-influence niya yung general public. Not just the general public but also government science policy. So meron ding involved na political involvement here. So hindi lang yung general public but also policy makers. So to have an effective science communication is the key for better understanding of public with science and also our policymakers with science.